I would like to call to reconvene the governing board meeting, and would like to ask Mr. Miranda to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have student life reports tonight. The MCCCD Leadership Institute, Ms. Erica Horahan.
Good evening, President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC and guests. My name is Erica Horahan, and I'm the coordinator of student life and leadership at Mesa Community College Red Mountain campus. But I'm here tonight in my role as the planning committee member for the Maricopa Community College's Leadership Institute. For 9 years, the Vice Presidents of Student Affairs in the offices of Student Life and Leadership from around our district have sponsored the Leadership Institute. Leadership is a nationally recognized leadership training program for college students. And since 2005, over 500 Maricopa students have graduated from this program. 500 new and passionate leaders have been sent out into our community, committed to leading with integrity. This program is truly life-changing for the students who have participated, and we're proud to be the only community college district in the nation to offer this program to our students. We're looking forward to celebrating our 10th anniversary of Leadership this upcoming spring. I'm going to show you a video tonight of some photos from our most recent session of Leadership. It was held at the ASU West campus for the first time. Following the video, you're going to meet one of the Mesa students who's graduated from Leadership this year. I want to thank you for your continued support of this amazing program.
Is this the end, or only the beginning? The second chance you never thought you'd get. The question is, will you do something with it, or spend your days lost in your regret? This is the story of your life. You decide how the rest is gonna read. This is your chance between the lines to redefine what kind of legacy you leave. This is the story of your life, and it's a story worth telling. It's worth telling. Breathe in deep, feel your heart still beating. Let's go see the reason you're alive. Oh, you are here, and love is up to something. So take your fear and leave it all behind. This is the story of your life. You decide how the rest is gonna read. And this is your chance between the lines to redefine what kind of legacy you leave. And this is the joy, and this is the pain, and all the pages in between. Your finest hour, your weakest moment is where you've been, is where you.
My name is Ryan McConaughey. I graduated with the 2013 Leadership. I'm a combat veteran, and I'm also the current president of PTK at Mesa Community College, and I've been through tons of leadership training. And nothing has been as life-changing as this. I mean, the self-reflection we have, there's a lot of leadership training that I've gone to that tells you how to be a leader, but doesn't have you reflect on your leadership style and how to change it or how to improve upon yourself. And this experience right here was life-altering, and it's definitely improved myself.
Thank you. Ms. Horahan, do you also have the Associated Students at Mesa Community College?
Before you're done, I just want to say that this is the second one I attended. I attended the one at ASU as well, and I agree with what has been said. It's worth it for not only the students, but I really want to congratulate staff members for taking the time to really make an excellent opportunity for these kids. I also want to thank the chancellor for the ice cream social. I always make it for that.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC, and all within the Maricopa Community College District. I am Lucas Bodine, and I am president of the Associated Students of Mesa Community College, and we are very grateful for this opportunity to talk to you today. I'd like to introduce my team. This is Alexandra Kohler. She is the Vice President of Communications. Matthew Faulkner, he is the Executive Vice President. Ryan O'Reilly is the Vice President of Fiscal Affairs. Adam Dangerfield, the Secretary of Involvement, and Whitney Husky is within the Events Programming Council. Today we're going to be talking about 3 separate goals, things that we accomplished last year that were successful, and things that we'd like to accomplish this year. 1, improve ASMCC's presence on campus. 2, give additional support to established ASMCC institutions. And 3, provide educationally driven engagement opportunities for students.
For starters, we would like to improve our presence on campus. Last year, we had branded the ASMCC logo on various items such as sunglasses and pens, handed them out to students, as well as we branded our own t-shirts that you can see we're all wearing today. They were very successful. You see a lot of students around campus wearing them, and we also gained over 350 likes on our Facebook account. As for this year, we would like to improve our relationship with the Mesa Legend, which is the newspaper, so students can read articles and be more involved on events around campus. We would like to improve our social media reach, get even more likes on Facebook, and we'd also like to hold more competitive elections, get more students to get out there and vote.
One of ASMCC's goals this year is to give more support to our established institutions. One of the goals, from last year, we had the biggest Senate ever. We were averaging around 30 senators per Senate meeting. We also had our very first student court mock trial, which was successful. And we also established our student scholarship and food pantry program for students in need. This year, our focus is to broadcast Senate in order to reach a broader audience of students. We also would like to expand our support for our clubs by helping them out so that they can also reach out to more students. We would also like to develop a constant revenue stream for our ASMCC scholarship so that we can help out students in need.
Our last goal is to provide more educationally driven engagement opportunities for our students. Last year we had a lot of good programs like our Project Linus, which had students get together and make blankets for children in need. We had a forum on the tuition increase, which Andrew then presented to the governing board. And we had the US presidential election watch party, which was really popular with our students. But we need more events with an educational purpose. So we're trying to kick that off with our meet and greet, which is a way for our clubs and organizations to find students to get involved. This is a flyer for our meet and greet. One of the things that we notice is to get students more engaged in the events that we do, we need to do a little extra. So this year, we have started our Red vs. Blue campaign. So as you see, ASMCC is wearing red and Whitney is with our EPC wearing blue. We're going to start a friendly competition around campus to try to get students who show up at these events more engaged and more involved.
And as you've heard about these 3 goals of what went well and what we plan to do, we know that these things will bring students success. We know that this will help them be engaged and involved in on campus, and we know that that will help in broadening their college experience. We'd like to invite members of the board, the chancellor, and all members of CEC within your respective responsibilities to the district and to your schools to get into gear with ASMCC's initiatives within your schools and districts, because we know that this will build student success and retention within the district. We're grateful for this opportunity to present to you, and we are open to any questions that you might have.
Have you moved into your old new facilities yet?
We have.
Oh,
and it-
congratulations.
Excellent space.
Yeah, as you move on, I heard someone back there talk about, or at least mention the idea of having opportunities to discuss issues of importance. And I know you had the presidential watch, which I thought was very interesting too, and I heard back on that, by the way. But as you move this year, I think it's real important to understand the changing demographics in Arizona and the fact that we have this big Mack truck that's coming down the highway called Changing Demographics. And we also have, right now in Congress, discussion on immigration reform, the DREAM Act, for instance, that affects directly the students. I'd encourage you to have those kind of themes or those kind of topics as a way to draw in a more diversified group and foundation. But I thank you for your work. It's great.
For sure. Thank you.
President, you guys did an awesome job considering you've just been in school a few weeks. I'm really impressed. And to come here and say, what do we do in a few weeks? And you guys, I like your goals. I think they're admirable, and I think it's awesome that you want to get students more involved and the educational goals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That was a really well-organized presentation, and I appreciate it very much. There are 2 cities had elections for city council today, and one of these days I can see you guys doing it.
Being there.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
The next item is emeritus awards and recognitions. The first is by Dr. Stephen Gonzalez, emeritus distinction at Gateway Community College.
Permission to approach the podium?
Yes, please.
Good evening, President Burke, board members, chancellor, CEC members, and guests tonight. I'd like to take this moment to recognize one of our longtime faculty members who is now retired and receiving emeritus status tonight. And unfortunately, he could not be here with us tonight. He had a prior engagement, but his name is Dr. Clyde Perry, and he was an HVAC professor for many years at the Gateway campus. His chair, who helped in the nomination process, John Kelly, is here, and we will make sure that he receives this award. So thank you for bestowing that honor upon him. It's well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Just to add that I worked with Clyde in my days as a teacher at EVIT, and he's a very unique person, but a lot of help to us and our kids. Thank you.
Okay, the next presentation is by Dr. Anna Solly at Phoenix College.
Mr. Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, CEC colleagues, guests, it is indeed my honor to recognize Dr. Virginia Ramos Foster for this distinguished award, Emeritus Distinction. She was nominated by Dr. Albert Salosa, Chair of Liberal Arts Department at Phoenix College, and myself. I'd like Dr. Foster to come forward. I'm going to read a few things about her, but then I want to give her I want to give her the opportunity to say a few words too, because Dr. Foster always has the last word. She has been an outstanding faculty member at Phoenix College for the last 40 years. She did retire not too long ago, but she still continues to teach in an adjunct faculty role. Throughout her life, she has dedicated herself to education and advancement of students from all backgrounds. She has influenced and mentored generations of former PC students, many of whom have gone on to become leaders among the community and within their career fields. During her 4 decades, she's worn many hats. She used to be our foreign language chair. She was director of the Spanish language and culture program in Cuernavaca, Mexico. She's the founding director of the honors program. She's a member of the scholarship committee. She's also organized a number of recruitment activities for our college. She's lived all over the world, traveled all over the world, lived in several Latin American countries. Let me get that right, because if I don't, she'll correct me. She's also authored many books on Latin American literature and culture. She's a highly sought-after presenter. She presents not only within the United States, but in a lot of Latin American countries, and she has tremendous expertise. And one of the things that I admire most about Dr. Foster is that she's a very generous donor. She really walks the talk. Even as an adjunct faculty member, whatever money she makes, she donates immediately back to scholarships for PC students. And she also goes out and recruits donors in the community to support our college community. She's one of my dearest friends and colleagues. If I ever take a misstep, she sets me straight. And I really appreciate her advice. So it is indeed, again, our honor to bestow this honor on you, Dr. Foster.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I urge everyone to continue to think of our students and to contribute whatever you can. Always help them because they are all struggling. And I thank each of you. These are really all lies. I made them all up. But I'm very pleased and thank you. And thank you for Anna Solly, who's a wonderful leader at Phoenix College. You're all leaders. You're all wonderful. So God bless all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Foster.
I'd like to give a special thanks to Dr. Foster. She helped me when I was considering running for the board and when I was on the board as far as giving me advice as far as the big picture and what the college is, and always with a student focus. So I appreciate all you've done for the camp, for the students, for the college, and what you're still contributing to the community. Thank you, Dr. Foster.
The next item on the agenda is citizens interim, and I do not have any notices of people who wish to speak. So we will go to the agenda, and I will entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Lum moves.
Second.
Mr. Miranda seconds motion to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Sarr moves.
Second.
Mr. Lum seconds a motion to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. On the non-consent agenda, the first is under business services, the approval of a contract award for the new amphitheater shade canopy at Scottsdale Community College. Ms. Thompson?
Mr. President, members of the board, this project is part of an overall effort on the college's part to improve the look of the campus, and it is part of our bond program, and we recommend its approval.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve this item.
Mr. Lum moves.
Second.
Mr. Miranda seconds a motion to approve the contract award for a new amphitheater shade canopy at Scottsdale Community College. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is under Human Resources, a first reading, a review of the residential faculty policies for FY 2013-2014. Mr. Bowers, would you care to comment?
Yes, President Burke, members of the governing board, Chancellor Glasper, fellow CEC members and guests. Before you this evening for a first reading is the culmination of a lot of good work by a lot of good folks, and I believe that members of the FEC will actually have a presentation and be explaining in a little bit more detail all of the work that led to this. But basically, this is the first reading of an item requesting that the governing board approve the policy manual for residential faculty, and to, because of the fact this is first reading and cannot be approved until next month, also to extend the date of the existing RFP through September 30th, 2013.
Let me clarify, did you just request that we extend the date?
That actually is in the agenda item
Okay.
for the first reading, is to extend the date, yes.
Okay. Well, clarification, do we have to act on that tonight?
Prepare a motion?
If it's on the agenda, you gotta.
Where's our attorney?
The agenda just says residential
It's
faculty.
an information item, not an action item.
I believe there's a motion to approve.
No, it
No,
just
there is
to,
no motion to approve.
it just to,
Just a first reading.
Yeah.
So,
but that,
We will-
do we need a motion to extend the date?
Yes.
yes.
Yes, that's,
And what is the extension would be to the next board meeting,
the
correct?
extension only is from August 30th through September 30th of this year to keep the current RFP in place for another 30 days until you have an opportunity to actually act on this item next month.
I move we extend the date from August 30th to September 30th. Second.
All right, motion has been made to extend the date of the residential faculty policy manual to September 30, 2013. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Monitoring reports,
There's a comments on the fact?
well, not yet, they
They
come
will
later.
when they do their regular report,
Okay.
yes. Thank you.
The monitoring reports, the budget analysis report, Ms. Thompson?
Mr. President, members of the board, this report is looking at the actual activity in the general unrestricted fund, or Fund 1 as we sometimes call it, and it is looking at both expenditures against budget and revenues against budget. Because it is only 1 month of the 12-month fiscal year, not a lot of activity, but it is on par with what we would expect in terms of payroll cycles and other expenditures and the collection of revenues. So nothing unusual to report, no concerns, and we do expect to meet the financial stability requirement at the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Ms. Thompson? All right, the next item is community linkage, governing board reports. Mr. Lum?
I was able to attend a nice event where Congressman Raul Grijalva visited Rio Salado Center in Avondale, and it is a really nice visit. He had a chance to talk to the students there. He was telling them how important it is to get a GED, not only to themselves but to their families. So it is a really nice event, and I'd like to thank Dr. Bustamante and staff and for all setting it up and having a nice education talk with the congressman.
Okay. Mr. Miranda?
Nothing to report, except I've got a planned visit to Paradise Valley coming up this month, and look forward to being there. And I think I have another college on my agenda for Mesa Community College. I'll be there for the either September or October on one of those. I also lost my glasses in Rocky Point this past weekend, so if anybody going down there for Labor Day, maybe they
All right, Mr. Sarr.
Just that I've started to look at all the different activities that each of the campuses is holding, from fine arts to athletics, and I just want to encourage everybody to take advantage of those. They're excellent opportunities to take your visiting friends and to really see our students and staff do their best.
All right. Had opportunity recently to attend the district-wide MAP meeting at Scottsdale Community College. heard a number of speakers relating to district issues, including the chancellor and vice chancellors, and also attended a district office employees meeting at the Rio Conference Center to hear an update on Maricopa issues from relating to the district perspective. And yesterday I was enjoyed attending a reception for Dr. Stephen Gonzalez at the Rio Conference Center, welcoming him to the district. And then on today, early today, a number of us attended the new offices of the Arizona Small Business Development Center at Gateway Community College. Very nice function, well attended, and we enjoyed looking at the new quarters there at Gateway.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Can I add that I was really impressed with the Small Business Administration. They started the incubator program for students. So any students going to our college can learn how to start a business and have actually business facilities and offices by contacting the Small Business Administration. And that sounds really exciting and promising.
The next is the internal community, the Chancellor's report. Dr. Glasper.
Mr. Burke, members of the board, just a few comments tonight. And I want to thank the MAT employees for their conference. I think it was a great success. I saw a note today that this was one of the largest ever. They had over 400 individuals. It was an exciting opportunity to spend some time with the MAT employees, and the leadership was there, faculty leadership was there, other employee group leadership were in the audience, and as Mr. Burke mentioned, he was there. But what I wanted to share tonight was just a thank you, and I'll be sending a note for the fall semester to all employees and within our district. But I just wanted to say that this past year has been a growth year for all of us. There's a lot of discussion about initiative fatigue and activities going on throughout the district, and I really believe that we are starting to come together in a lot of our disparate activities as we start planning for the next discussion around a capital bond for 2016 and what it will look like if we begin to focus on regional activities and further defining the notion of One Maricopa. And the conversation has been pretty rich because we're finding out what One Maricopa is and what it is not and what it might be and what the strong possibilities are. But each definition is getting us closer to reaching the board's outcomes and its goals. I also want to thank the board for its support the past month or so when they approved the budget, because it has done wonders in terms of supporting employees to do more as we begin to look at a next step of reaching out to our state legislature. I mentioned at the last meeting, I believe, that we have some videos of the last legislative session when they were touting the good work that we do, and that next year, which is now this year, is our year. So we believe that we need to keep our presence, we need to be more vigilant, and we need to continue to step up within our community and provide the services and provide that true meaning to what we are describing as P20W and define what work means to us and make sure we acknowledge what our data is saying and see how many students we actually place, what the salaries are, and then as we begin to look at some of those outcomes metrics, hold ourselves accountable and at a higher level to achieve some of those particular goals that would allow us to boost the economy within Arizona and nationally, because I still believe that this is our time as community colleges nationally for us to make a difference. We get a lot of press nowadays, some saying that they're going to give us money, but if we continue to wait on the money, I think we're going to be stalled to take action. So I'm just pleased with the support that we get at this particular board in this district in order to move on with new initiatives, and I encourage all of us to maintain our momentum and our energy to do more.
Thank you.
Did we get any updates on enrollment?
Enrollments right now, Dr. Harper-Meredith, would you like to share enrollment data?
I don't have I'm looking at Sherry Andres. I think that it's pretty flat for the district-wide, not, oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez, for your technology support. So let me not guess and actually read the numbers. We have, for the system, not including Rio, because I think we know that the model at Rio Salado is of enrollment every Monday, so we count those students a little differently. But everybody else is, in terms of head count, as of this last week, is 1.8% down compared to the same time last year. And, no, that's not right. Is I can't see either, hold on. Is 0.8% down for head count, and it is 1.1% down for FTSE. So it's pretty flat in terms of changes compared to last year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Secretary's report, Mr. Saar.
None?
Okay. Faculty Executive Council report, Dr. Patricia Finkenstadt.
Thank you, President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC, and guests. Earlier this month, the Faculty Association leadership and the faculty meet and confer teams presented a series of forums at each of the 10 colleges on the proposed changes to the RFP. Over 200 residential faculty attended these forums. We received incredible support for this method of communication and anticipate that we will regularly host forums of this type in the spring semester to keep faculty informed and to allow significant dialogue about the negotiated changes in the RFP. The ratification process was open from August 1st through August 16th, and the final vote was 83% in support, with 75% of the Faculty Association members casting a vote. We are pleased with the strong turnout and support for the new RFP, and we look forward to continuing our interest-based approach to resolving issues facing the district through Meet and Confer, and we appreciate the support of the board, the administration, and the faculty in these endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. The Adjunct Faculty Association, Ms. Licia Hand. No report? Okay. Let's see, no reports from vice chancellors, it says. No reports from college presidents. External community, the AADGB report. Well, I have some news for board members. The Arizona Association of District Governing Board Members has been working for a year or so to try to hold a statewide meeting of governing board members from the various districts. And as we were working on plans recently, we heard about the Arizona Commission of Post-Secondary Education, which is planning a statewide conference on November 21, 22. And after some consultation, we made a recommendation to the full membership and got agreement that we would hold our first meeting in conjunction with the Arizona Commission on Post-Secondary Education on that November 21, 22 date. It is the date that college presidents expect to attend as well, we understand. And we will finalize some plans at our September meeting to hold some separate meetings at that function. We have been promised some room, and we will find a time when the governing board members from the various districts can get together for a first time in several years. So I ask each of you to put November 21, 22 on your calendars, and you will receive more information about the ACPE conference. Okay. Let's see, the ASBA report, Mr. Saar.
Next week, on the 4th and 5th of September, is the annual law conference for ASBA, and myself and other members of the board will be attending that for the 2 days and hopefully keep ourselves in good status with the legal system.
All right. The next meeting dates will occur September 10 at 3 p.m. That is an agenda review in the governing board room. Later that day on September 10, we'll have a work session in the governing board room. On September 17, a capital planning retreat here in the governing board room. And then next September 24, the regular board meeting here in the governing board room. That's entirely too early. I would offer to recite Browning's The Ring and the Book. It's just 22,000 lines, but it's not on the agenda. So I'm going to adjourn.